Hello, welcome back, profit takers. It's Victoria here with another video, getting ready to start this week. I am so excited. So we have finally, we have a soft launch, if you will, because the whole process right now for me is manual. Once we have our website done and the automation is set in, then that will be the official launch of the Profit Taker Alert Dash. So we are so excited about it. And today I'm going to kind of go through some of the setups that I'm looking at for this week. If you haven't already done so, you want to go into our locals group, and then I have a PDF in there that I created that shows you how to use it. But I'm going to go quickly on how you can use it right now. So let's get started. And how, of course, it can help you to pick your perfect setups, because that's what it's all about. I always say that indicators are not the holy grail. Like, you do need to have some discretion in what it is that you're doing. You want to make sure you are mindful of any red folder news that is occurring, and that you're trading in your session, and that's it. I mean, you trade in your session, you pick the setups that are your best signature setups, right? Steve Murrow used to say that all the time: get your signature setup. And the one day after the new peak was always and has always forever been my favorite setup. If you follow Stacy Burke, this is technically day 2 trading after the peak sets in, after the first red day, which is the signal day. So if you follow that strategy, this is your setup right here. And guess what? You don't have to go through a whole bunch of charts. I don't know how many pairs you trade, but hopefully you have a handful of instruments that keep you, busy, right? You want to be trading enough. You don't want to just stick with one, because sometimes that one isn't going to do anything that day, or maybe the move already happened in the previous session, and so now you're just twiddling your thumbs trying to trade trash, right? So, real quick. Just, the market's opened, the data is coming in. Of course, this is all real-time data, so I'm still waiting for everything to populate accordingly. So when I get back to the charts here during my session, then we'll do a follow-up at the end of the day. So this indicator, obviously you can move it around. The WB and DB, that's the weekly bias and the daily bias. And once this populates, guys, it's going to show which direction is based off of the previous week. Okay, so whatever the previous week high and low is, the arrow will show up over there and it will let us know. Okay, and then from there, the daily bias will also show. And as long as it doesn't, like, if it's red, right, if it shows that the Aussie CAD is down and then there's nothing in the daily bias, it means it's in sync. And I love it when the previous week and the daily is in sync, because obviously you know that you're gonna be looking at a trend trade, right? Another thing that I want to talk about, of course, we all know this is how you're gonna easily find your next day after the peak, your trend trade setups, your day 2 trades, right? This is how you're gonna know. You're just gonna look quickly and you look for the ones, and then you just go from there. So depending on the session that you trade, you want to pick the pair that's going to work out for you. This is the CHF JPY. If this Swissy pair works for you in your session, then shoot, it's an opportunity to go long on this. Okay. What else are we showing here? That's a 1. So that one, Aussie NZD. Okay. It's another one. Let's see, those are the only ones that are showing 1. Okay, so if those don't work for you in your session, then you go to the next thing. Right now you're looking for 2, right? So 2 in my mind, and let me just click on some. Hold on, let me bring it over here. I didn't think you could see that. So EJ is 2 days from the high, and technically 2 days in, you're looking for a reversal. Okay, That's literally what that is. So you're counting this day as the 1 day, the 2, and then the 3. So this third day here, we're looking for markets to reverse. Okay, that's what I'm looking for on the 2. Okay, now it could happen in London because this is a pair that could move in London, right? And if that happens, then great. I missed that reversal, but hopefully it's going to set up for the actual trend trade for me in New York. Who knows, right? So that's how I look at the 2s. Okay. And the other really cool thing is once I get to my session, guys, I'm going to look to see the daily range. Okay. The daily range and the ADR are going to be my 2 keys of information that I want to see. Now, I did a video on Friday or Saturday, wherever it was, and I went through all the different categories here, and this actually is available to everyone. I'll also put the link in this video, and I will drop the PDF link in local so you can just have it on your hand to see what exactly all this means. But I'm going to be looking at the ADR and the daily range, and what that's going to tell me is if the daily range has exceeded the ADR for the day, then that's going to give me an opportunity for a potential reversal. If it hasn't exceeded the daily range, if the daily range number has not exceeded the ADR, guys, then you're looking for a continuation. And I normally see these things play out once the first 2 sessions of trading are done and you're going into New York. That's how I look at it. Or sometimes, the market can move really well in Asia. And then of course you're looking for that to play out in the next London session. You can look at it that way. Now, those are one of the cool things that I really love about that. All right. So for right now, let's see another 2. Euro USD is also 2 days away. And this one should expect it to reverse as well. And then hopefully we'll get our trend trade later on in the session. And another 2's GJ, right? Just like EJ, again, I'm expecting some kind of reversal. And then hopefully we get our trend trade in the session that I'll be available for. Now, like I said, you always want to make sure you still want to follow and mark your charts with the same, and I talk about it in my videos, and I've done videos about it. You always want to make sure you identify the previous week's high and the previous week's low, so that you can, go ahead, even not just last week's high and low, and then even the previous one, because sometimes price, like look at the ADR where we are right here for GJ. So I'm going to make sure I identify this area down here. Okay. So you want to make sure you identify those. And then by the time the session starts, guys, you're going to be marking in your, you're going to mark your levels. And I'll be able to do that later on in the session once we have a little bit more data in. But what I'm suggesting to do, just like right here on Friday, when we get into the market and it's already played out, we want to identify the high and low of the London session. I mean, clearly Friday, this was a beautiful trade to take short. Okay, and that's the low of the session for London. And then we had the high of the gap time. And the gap time high was right at darn near the open price and the daily high and low. That is always a great place to enter after a pullback on a day that you're not supposed to be countering. Okay, this is a DNC. Do not counter this. So if you saw this thing pulling back and you're trying to ride this gap, don't do it. Okay, don't do it. It's not worth it. Not on the day after a peak. Okay, so this was a beautiful trade to take on Friday. And so once you have your areas marked down, then you go down into your lower levels. Like some people prefer M5, some people would prefer M1, right? So this is M5. I am really loving M5 for my entry. And a lot of people are big on getting in here on the 1 minute chart, which is fine. If that's your thing, that's your thing. Okay. I know that's a Stacy Burke thing. Even one of my mentors, he's in on M1 too as well, right? So once you have those levels marked, then it's easier for you to make sure that you're waiting for price to hit the high again. You can draw the line again right here if you want to, Okay. And you're using this previous high for your levels. And then now you're waiting for the market to break. Okay. No, this is not a pretty little line here, but you're waiting for the market to break structure so that you know you have a trend. So that's what breaking structure basically means. Okay, that doesn't want to cooperate. It's fine. Let's go to M5. All right, so as you can see right here, this was beautiful right here. Okay, you could have totally got in once the structure broke here, because sometimes, guys, sometimes price doesn't go back up again, but sometimes it doesn't do it again, but then sometimes it does. So this would have been a great area to enter anyway, and it pulled back anyway, but you could have just added to the position at that point once it did another pullback. Okay. So that's it. I mean, those are the things that you're waiting for before you get into the market, right? Like I said, you don't want to just jump in and just say, oh, okay, you know, we're ready to go. If your session is about, especially this 8 o'clock, right? Actually, it's 7 o'clock for me in the morning because I'm in Central. So from 8 to 11, you know, that's when the market is moving, and you want to be at work, right? You're at the charts working at that particular time, and you're just being patient. And you saw what I just did with GJ when I drew the lines to ensure that it was not going to break. But again, we know it's the do not counter day, but we still need to be, we need to continue to practice these basic things when we're trading, because I get that a lot. Entries, how do you get in the market? How many pips are you going for? I mean, it's all about market structure. And if you don't have your areas marked out, and even right now, I didn't even mark where I was going to get out at, but that's just something that you want to make sure that you do. So let me see. Let's go back. Let's go back. And this is great because Tuesday, guess what, guys? Guess what we talk about on Tuesdays? Tuesdays, we have our high and low of the day, which is something that is coined the initial balance. I don't think it was, Stacey Burke talks about that a lot. I forgot where he said he got it from. I forgot. But right here is how we'd get out. We would get out of the market right here, guys. And if you were in London trading this, you would have got in at the initial balance high for Tuesday, and then you would have gotten out here. So this right here, guys, OMG. It was just a beautiful trade for Friday after the, basically the day 2. So today is, technically in the Burke world, it's day 1, but after it's 3 days since the peak high. So I know that this thing is going to give us some kind of reversal, and then hopefully we'll get our continuation trade for the remainder of the session, whenever that happens, because I don't know, right? But what I'm going to do is just what I just did right now, which is mark my levels, and I'm going to wait for them to break them, retest, and get on in. Okay. What else do we have here that I could do? I'm just going to wait, guys. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to even anticipate anymore. Right now, I already know that I'm looking for what I already shared with you all. So I'm going to wait till there's a little bit more data for us on, when I get back to the charts. And then we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. But we have plenty of pairs here, guys, that I can look at really quickly. Already looked at Euro USD. Where's another 2? Looked at GJ. Aussie CAD, it's another one. They all look pretty much the same. Okay. Where's another 2? Oh, the dollar Swissy is 2 days. Okay. So the dollar Swissy, this was 1. On Friday, I was looking for this one to go long, but guess what happened? It came to the area and it just kept breaking down. Like you see, I have my line marked there. It just kept breaking down. And I was like, well, I think this is going to turn into a 1 day after the peak. I just felt like it was doing that. And then you can just clearly see the pattern, right? It did not break this M, right? This W that was looking like it was about to form did not continue to push up. and we had this M formation, the second leg M, it's over at that point. Like, it is so over. Don't even try to go in here and counter this. It's just not, it's not going to work. We got our two highs, and I noticed this too when I was watching it. I was like, well, let's just see what happens. And it never broke it, right? And I came back to it, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's completely short. It's going to change. And it did. And I was like, okay, cool. So now I'm just going to wait for this thing to play out a little bit more, because technically, guys, this is two days. So guess what? 1, 2, and 3. So once this reversal finishes, I'm going to be watching this thing again too, to see if it's going to hold and continue to break on down. And right now it looks like it is. It really does. Okay. And if it does, then we're going to continue to go with the trend, because of course we also know when prices close below the open, then we can also expect to continue a short trend for that session. Okay. So hopefully it does pull back whatever it needs to do. And maybe it might not even pull back a lot, but just enough for when I get to the session that it's ready to go short and continue with the trend. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that one. Okay. So this is so easy to just come in here and just select a pair that fits the strategy, fits my time. And if that one doesn't play out, there's going to be another one. And guess what? I don't have to go in and do a whole bunch of analysis to figure out where we are. It's just automatically going to tell me. So that's what I love about this indicator. So we'll be back later on once the session closes for Monday and see where we are at. So again, if you want to get your hands on this indicator, guys, you want to go ahead and click the link in the comment section. It's $25 right now. It's manual for me. So whenever I'll be the one sending it to you, sending you the files, and I'll try to get them to you within 24 hours. Sometimes I can get them to you really quickly, but it just all really depends. Time zone wise, maybe you might get it and I'm asleep or something, right? So this is definitely your trader's best friend. You want to have something in your arsenal that's going to help you to get in these trades, to find the perfect setups. Okay, that's literally what it is. It helps you find the perfect setups, keeps you in line with the market maker cycle, the 3-day cycle. And you know, that's all we need, right? You know what I'm saying? That is all we need. All right, guys, that's it for now. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Ciao.